Hi everyone, welcome to the latest and greatest Develo video. I'm Jeff, this is Andrew, and you are joining us back in our Production Perfected series. Quick recap, we are talking about the recipe for title production success, people, processes in today's number one topic in every conversation, every conference, technology. Andrew, let's do this.
Yeah, tech, you can't live with it, you can't live without it. So how do we design it to best maximize our people's time? We talked about people valuing our team, and then also to create efficiency around our processes, because technology should be a catalyst, not a detriment, but sometimes it tends to be that way.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about that, I think. But quick story, we're just to open up with, you and I were doing a site visit, the client getting ready to prep for engaging them with full outsourcing product, and we saw a demo, something pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right? We saw some automated pacer searches, right? We were like, wow, that's pretty cool. They're like, yeah, check this out. Just kind of runs, goes out, grabs the names right out of the title production system, goes out, runs a pacer search, brings back a PDF, drops it right on the attachments for that file. Pretty cool on the surface, right, Andrew?
On the surface.
Well, taking a look at it, getting a little bit into it, and kind of understanding when it worked, how it worked, we found out that it ran immediately after order entry.
Yeah.
And if there's any time in the title production process when you're most unsure if you have right parties, it's right at order entry. We're getting a purchase agreement from a couple parties. Sometimes names are missing, names are wrong, names are incomplete. There's a trust, there's an LLC, no one tells you. And you had a production team, the people doing the title search and examination that were told, do not run Pacer. It's automated.
Yes, I think that's automated with air quotes.
It's automated. Well, it is automated, but it's, whether it's happening at the right time. But tell that story to make a point, right? The point I want to make is that technology works only when the technology is layered on top of a process that is organized, and the people working in that process know exactly what's happening, so that they understand when there's an exception or when something needs to be done again.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to understand. The right technology maximizes people and time. The wrong technology derails productivity, hampers results, and it creates unnecessary risk. All things we need to avoid.
Yeah, all bad for our industry, right? So you and I think that's a really good point. The right technology, wrong technology, and when to recognize what's right for you, what's a little ahead of you, etc. So you and I look at a lot of title production processes. We get to look under the hood. We have dozens and dozens of clients, and we see a lot of stuff. And I think you and I, we see a lot of technology. We see things, we see things we've never seen before. But a lot of times we're looking at stuff and we kind of wonder why it's there. It's almost like the wrong application, right? We see things where people tell us, well, it works sometimes. It works completely and accurately only a small percentage of the time, or it doesn't work all the way all the time.
Yeah, sometimes with technology right now, it feels like it's trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. Like it's fancy, it's fun, and like you said, on the surface, and we kind of get fascinated with this idea of technology.
I think the best way to put it, Andrew, I think you and I say sometimes it feels like it's being forced into places where it doesn't quite fit. Does that sound about accurate?
Oh, definitely. Or people get fascinated by the technology, but when you step back, it actually creates more roadblocks and more steps to complete. But it feels good because it's technology or AI. Like
it's automated, it works, right? So what would be some good steps for people to find and implement the right tech solution? So we're talking about right and wrong. Like how do we know what's a good solution for us and something we should move forward with?
Right. Like I think instead of trying to find this end-all be-all solution for perfection, it's what is one step of the process that you can try to automate? Whether you're using a Zapier solution for just like a quick if-then to eliminate some repetitive touch point, it's going to Google and just trying to fail fast towards solutions. There's so many softwares out there. There's so many things you can try. It's just figuring out how to test it quickly, prove that it doesn't work, and then repeat it until you find what does work. It doesn't need to be this heavy investment, crazy solution. Oftentimes, the smallest fix will create the biggest result.
Yeah, so like that's a great takeaway right out the gate. We see a lot of grandiose ideas of like this just huge tech and automation suite end to end,
Yeah.
right? And like sometimes it's just assembling and bookending a few little wins back to back to back and go, oh, we've taken a huge chunk of this and made it a little more efficient, right?
Yeah, incremental progress is key for sure, especially on the tech side. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed by all of the fancy, shiny stuff, and you have to keep in mind the hidden costs that also arise. How much time is it going to take to set up a new software? Who's going to do it? And how much time is it going to take to maintain a new software going on?
So there's an illusion, Andrew, I think that you and I, in all these conversations we're having, which are numerous today, right? That like technology is somehow free or costs almost nothing, right? Oh, it's just, well, now that people aren't doing it, technology is doing it, so it must not cost anything. But we're in the same regard, there's a lot of human effort to set up productive technology. There's
Yeah.
ongoing effort to maintain productive technology, and a lot of these technologies are being run through vendors who obviously are building and deploying things to make money.
Yeah, it'll continue to get cheaper. I think the AI software will continue to become more affordable, but it's not there yet when compared to other solutions.
Okay, and then in queuing up, kind of a shameless plug for dBello, I'm going to just prompt Andrew with a little question that we like to ask in open discussions around the industry. But Andrew, what is automation?
Oh,
What is
my
automation?
favorite question ever. I think people assume automation is a technical solution doing something, but right, stepping back, it's something getting done the same way every time without you having to touch it. That's automation. And we assume it's a software, but if that execution of a result is done by a person that you're not having to like think about or interact with, it's still being automated.
Yeah, I mean that's an answer I can definitely live with.
Like an outsourcing team.
There you go. So kind of wrapping up something a little bit fun, Andrew. You're kind of our resident tech guru here at dBello.
Yes.
Gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Yes.
Little Mermaid plug. I have little girls. So, Andrew, what is your favorite personal or professional like tech or application that you think kind of gives you some margin, some efficiency today?
If I had to pick one of each, I would say Otter AI for professional, because who doesn't love little otters? Just like the cutest animal ever. But Otter joins my meetings for me, and it will transcribe notes from the audio. So then I can reference back talking points, action items, and key notes that took place. It's a little bit easier than having to go watch a recording or force someone on my team to type up a bunch of notes. I can just scroll through and see the takeaways.
Yeah, that makes sense. That kind of just flows into why a few weeks ago you were no longer afraid of concurrent meetings.
Not at all. It joins for me.
That's why I go, Andrew, are you there?
That's why I'm leaving on vacation tomorrow.
So perfect. Sign in, man.
And then personally, it's got to be Starbucks. Not because the coffee's the best, but it's easy to use. You get all the points.
Yeah.
You always know where there's a clean bathroom to use, which when you have little kids, it's like you just need somewhere easy and convenient to go. So I'm a fan of that.
Can't argue with that, man. You'll probably pop that app out here soon. This class is sadly empty. So, guys, thanks for joining us, taking a look at technology in our Production Perfected series. We'll have a recap video soon. And thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you then.